Okay, the list of questions, and I should say I was a little bit disappointed that we could only raise 3 questions, but it took us too long to discuss them. Was first a software topic raised by my colleague Nicolas. Software with the criticality level E hosted by installed resource. Basically, his question was how can we, or how can he install software as a field loadable software or similar without any certification involvement. And I will get to the questions later, to the answers later. The next one was, and you may have heard that problematic with lithium batteries before, and the discussion we had a few minutes ago or 2 hours ago in regards to this ETSO approval. We will come with the final answers later on. And another question raised was, is EASA able or willing to relieve DOAs from the burden of a major change in regards to ADs? Especially, and we mentioned that as if there is an AD on an equipment level, means a transponder, let's say, TCAS system, whatever, and the corrective action is basically done on the equipment level, on whether the installer could be relieved from classifying the change as a major. And again, you will see later on, basically that seems to be a reasonable approach. Another one was, another comment was raised by one of my colleagues here in regards to the certification basis, type certificate data sheets, here specifically the A320 series TCDS is becoming a monster to a certain extent, especially when it comes to the certification basis of individual models, especially considering some modifications on it, like the sharklets, like ZeroPax mods, like NEOs, etc., etc. And he was basically asking for help from EASA in regards to making the type certificate data sheet more readable than it is today. Yeah, another point here is the make available all decrees or special conditions being mentioned as part of a type certificate. I think there is a good effort from EASA since about 2 years, if I remember right, developing these annexes to it. Okay, well, I think there is no reply actually on the later slide, so I finished that up here. I think yes, there is a need for EASA to continue to work on the type certificate data sheets and on the annexes, also in other areas and on smaller aircrafts. I'm not talking about small aircrafts yet, but I'm smaller large aircrafts, where this is not consistently done yet, at least.
Okay. So we will do.
Thank you.
No, thank you for this overview and on the side meetings. And Trevor just joined us. This is the last presentation on the 3rd side meetings for small DOAs and airlines. And
we're not yet done.
No, okay. I was just using this pause.
Okay, may I just browse through?
Yeah, of course.
Final?
Of course,
okay, good.
Course,
all right. Okay, on the topic of the software, level A, field loadable software, we were pointed at this certification memo, SWAEH-002, and some FAA guidance in regards to that, and whoever is involved in that should consult that. Generic special conditions increase, and I repeated myself a number of times during this meeting here, is it is not enough that the EASA knows that there is a special condition. We should know about it because we are classifying, and if a special condition is a consideration for a major change, then we should know about it, and that if need be, should be proactively being done by EASA. Okay. All right, then in ADs, yes, we were given the advice that this should be possible, and in fact, we have been granted one minor acceptance or reclassification for such an AD corrective action, and you should just try to get a procedure in your handbook to identify what the procedure might be for a reclassification process. And then certification basis and crease, again, it was identified that this is a problem, and EASA, at least the persons being present at the time, did commit that they wanted to follow up on that. All right, and now I'm done.
Maybe to add something on the A320 TCDS. I mean, Heiko, I guess this topic sounds familiar to you. Especially related to the significant changes for the Sharklet and NEO certification. There was already the need more or less addressed to give the applicant the possibility to identify the affected area by the significant change to be able to determine the correct certification basis for the change. And Carla, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's something ongoing to be more transparent on that issue.
Yes, I remember we were also discussing that at the Lufthansa, during our management review meeting, yes. Okay, thank you for this additional clarification, and thank you very much, Fran, and thank you for the other people attending the small DOAs and airlines. I saw it was an intensive debate, and so maybe an applause to these side meetings.